So, earlier this week, I did a little video pointing out clouds, and I was sharing that in one of my groups, and people really took off on looking at it, which is great, right? Because the stuff I was talking about the clouds, I've been talking about for for dear God, like 12 years or something. I've been onto this shit pretty much 2012, maybe 2013 or so, right? So I wanted to talk a pinch more about that. So in my research, I came across online the Industrial Surrealism channel, and I had already been a good, strong study on MUFON stuff and other manners of what we would eventually call the deep state, because you're just looking at dark government secrets, etc., etc. Classified military history, the money trail of private contractors, so on and so forth, right? And you get this picture painted of this world unseen, where the military can hide everything from you because of communists. And whether it's a population thing and or a development thing, we created this massive need for government, but we didn't just make a big need for government and then start changing people. We changed the people, and then we changed our relationship with government, right? And now we have invisible airships using technology they haven't disclosed to us, running around, and you have to actually look at what they are doing once you learn how to see them, right? Because if you can't see them, you have no idea the extent of weather warfare potential that there actually is. And there's a lot of them, a fucking lot. But they're also not always there, and it takes a keen eye, and you're gonna dismiss a lot of times too, where you're gonna be like, I doubt it, right? There's gonna be a whole lot of I doubt it. Like right now, I'm looking at the sky, right, and at least in my immediate view that I can safely look at, I'd say that there's probably nothing in the sky. Probably nothing. But you only see them when there's clouds. And they do make their own clouds, but they don't have to make their own clouds. So they could be up there, just clear blue sky. You would never be able to fucking tell the difference because of its position in the sky to the sun. You won't see any anomalous light refraction, if you will. But there's a few other interesting things to talk about with these invisible craft. The craft at times will interact with chemtrails. They will come to a chemtrail, and they will seem to take the chemtrail, or they will like pick up part of the chemtrail as they're passing over, right? I don't know if this is a cleanup operation. I don't know if it's just management. I don't know if they're just fueling the craft with it in some odd kind of like discrete manner, which that's what it would be, right? You've got the plane, and you think you've seen condensation trails, but they're not, and then the plane dumps it, and then this particular dump is fuel for those ships and not necessarily being used in a seeding, or those ships are taking it to do all the seeding themselves. And this would, as I use my imagination of how the system works, would probably be a pretty good way of doing a resupply, is to do an in-air resupply in this manner, as far as having that kind of discretion is concerned. And so then another thing would be sylphs. Okay, so sylphs are air spirits, and they show up when you've got those feathery, wispy clouds that have those very elegant forms, and they will look like, you know, typically a winged creature, or like a, or it'll even look like a wing, or a feather, or a, you know, like sylphs. You've seen sylphs before, right? They're called sylphs. These kinds of clouds, and that's the presence of an air spirit showing up. The sylphs have been reported to be very like they, if they show up, they kind of deal with chemtrails. They don't always show up. You know, like sylphs are very elusive. I don't see them hardly ever. But they show up, and they don't like the chemtrails, and they can do something about the chemtrails. I'd imagine if you had a cloud buster, maybe a cloud buster could also handle a chemtrail. As far as the ships are concerned, I don't know about anything between those ships and those sylphs. There was never enough documented on industrial surrealism, and nobody who was ever doing any amateur work was capable of doing anything about it either. What's up? Who we got here? I can't see. There's too much sun. Is that friggin' hella? It is. Hey, what's up? Yes, it disguises it. Right. No, here. That's what we're gonna do. Alright. So the chemtrails, these ships, they're part of the many things that we're living with and in our day and age, that are just part of those supreme issues, right? It's frustrating because it's so beyond the general public to grasp. You literally have to build all sorts of things under. You have to like explain to people like, oh, here's a money trail for this, oh, here's a U.S. patent for that. Here's a weather report that fits a U.S. patent explanation for something, right? Here's some documentation of the event, of the anomalous weather pattern. Oh, look, see how the sky looks, see the atmosphere before this anomalous weather pattern. Look at how that sky looks versus a similar storm in a similar climate, similar region right over here, and clouds don't fucking look like that. Yeah, you have to go through all this shit before like people start fucking like doing that. And then you've got to be a voice with reach to put together the production to demonstrate it as a thing, to get everybody to trend the existence of that thing, right? Because you have to do this organically. The algorithm is not going to trip this subject for you, right? It's not currently an active psyop, therefore they don't want you to know. And it's the frustrating thing of like, you're trying to get ahead of the psyop in awareness, right? To force them to start using the psyop ahead of time, because that's the best you can do, is to jump ahead and force them to hatch their plan early, because they want to be able to salvage the time that they lost because you had the due diligence to get the word out just to the right access points that have larger audiences. And all of these things then come together. And that's also a formula for all the manners in which we're getting ahead of the psyops, right? You will have an easier time in life dealing with something like the next time they threaten you with World War III over bullshit happening in the Middle East if you are well ahead of that psyop, understanding the setup, the agenda, the money trail, and everything. You get so far ahead of it that they have to sell it in the most absurd, obscure of manners just to get the same needed psychological, emotional response out of the people that they require to support it, which is going to be dwindled now in the first place. And the more you break that spell, the harder it is for them to have control, because they can't lie to the people that they need to basically violate natural law in order to fuck you over. It's part of the diligence that we have to have in order for everything to come back into alignment. If you catch what I'm talking about here, because I'm speaking in terms of basic straightening up of the world, straightening things out, stopping it from going sideways and causing unnecessary suffering and unnecessary setbacks that we still deal with. I still have to deal with mine. Most of the time it's my own damn fault. There's no conspiracy behind it. There's no conspiracy behind my my last truck dying in the most inopportune moment one could ask for, right? I don't get to pick and choose the days that the sky is natural. We got all sorts of problems like this in emergence. All right. I am off to work, guys. I'll catch you later.